What's up YouTube, Dale here from Zephyr, and today I'm finally able to bring you the profile update that a lot of you have been requesting, and that is of course Phantom Knights. So Phantom Knights got a good range of support from the most recent booster set in the form of Chaos Origins, and then ended up getting a brand new main deck monster, well technically two, plus a brand new trap card and a brand new Xyz. So there's a lot that this deck can now start to do. It does still have its natural fragilities, but it's still an incredibly fun and powerful deck to play through. So I'm going to take you through the profile, show you what we've got, explain why we've got it, and if you want to see a combo video for the deck, make sure you get the video above 50 likes in the first 24 hours, and I will bring that for you all to enjoy. So with that out of the way, let's dive head first into the profile, show you what we've got. Starting off with the brand new Phantom Knights of Decayed Cloak. So, this card is, if it's in the hand, you get to reveal one other Phantom Knights card in your hand to special on this card. If this card is normal or special, you get to add a The Phantom Knights monster from the deck to the hand. Banish this card from the graveyard, target one Xyz you control. This turn, you can use that face-up Xyz monster as material for the Xyz summon, using it as if its rank were a level. So it basically allows you to use your rank 3s as level 3s, or if you do have a level 4, you can rank 4, you can choose that as a level 4 as well, which is quite useful. And then moving on to the classic, Free the Phantom Knights of Torn Scale. You can get to discard one card to send a Phantom Knights card from the deck to the grave, except itself. If another Phantom Knights card is in your graveyard, is banished while this card is in the graveyard, you get to special summon it, but you banish it when it leaves the field. Now, if you're new to Xyz mechanics, basically if the monster is an Xyz material, it technically never leaves the field in the generic type of ways, so it doesn't ever get banished, it just goes back to the graveyard, which is usually what you'll try and do with your Phantom Knights, because you always want to use them as materials for overlay units rather than sometimes link summons, which can come up in certain scenarios. You just make sure you use these monsters when they haven't got that clause that they're going to banish when they leave the field. Then we have 3 of the Phantom Knights of Silent Boot. So as long as you control a Phantom Knight monster, you get to special summon this card from the hand. You can only special summon it once per turn that way. You also get to banish it from the graveyard to add a Phantom Knight spell or trap from the deck to your hand, which is actually really, really important because it gives you a lot of consistency to get to your other pieces. Then we play 3 of the brand new Phantom Knights of Doom Soulwrecked. This card is absolutely really important for the deck and the new strategy that it's been able to get. So as long as you control no monsters, you get to special summon this card from the hand. You can only special summon it once per turn this way. You can only use each of the following effects once per turn. On normal or special, you get to set a Phantom Knight spell or trap from the deck. You can banish this card from the graveyard to then target up to 2 level or rank 3 dark monsters you control, and you increase their levels or ranks by 1. So this is how you can start to facilitate some rank 4 dark monster plays. It is just so incredibly important. And the trap card you're going to want to try and get access to more times than not is going to be the brand new Phantom Knights of Umbrage Veil. Why do you want to get to this? Well, this has an effect quite similar to something like a Traptrix Hallowed. So if you have the Phantom Knights monster in your field or graveyard, you get to activate this card the turn it was set. You special summon this card in defense position as a normal monster, Warrior Dark level 3, and it's not treated as a trap card. Then you get to change one attack position monster your opponent controls to defense position. You can banish this card from the graveyard immediately after the effect results, Xyz summon one Dark Xyz monster. So not only can it facilitate Xyz summons during your opponent's turn, it also can summon its on the turn it's set. So just using your Doom Soulwreck to get to this is insane, because that's your rank 3 play straight away. Now, the thing with this one is the graveyard effect will specifically get you into a dark, but everything else doesn't really lock you down that early, which is quite nice because it does give you a little bit of flexibility depending on how defensive you need to be and what you want to try and work with. And usually you'll probably try and go into the brand new, the Phantom Knights of Malevolent Scythe. But I'll talk about that once we get to the extra deck. Carrying on with the Phantom Knights, we do play a lineup of one-offs. So we've got the Ancient Cloak, we've got the Stained Greaves, and we've got the Ragged Gloves. Now, the reason you play in these at ones is because they're very easily accessible. You don't really want to open them up in the hand. They're not going to help you out a huge amount. You want to search them out throughout your combo. So the Cloak is in attack position, so on-field effect. Target a dark monster on the field and change it to defense position, and if you do, that monster gains 800 attack. Sometimes that can come up, very rarely, but it can come up. What you're going to be focusing on more times than not is the banish from the graveyard effect to add one the Phantom Knights card from the deck to the hand. Now, if a card says add a Phantom Knights card, you can pretty much get access to the majority of the cards you need. But if it says add the Phantom Knights card, it starts to limit some of the cards you can get access to, which is important once you get to the other traps. Your Stayed Greaves, as long as you control a Phantom Knight monster that is special to your field, you get to special on this card from the hand. Then you can increase the level of this card by 1. Now, it's a little bit disappointing that it only increases the level of this card. It is optional, you don't have to, but sometimes that can help if you've got another level 4 in play. You get to banish this card from the graveyard to special on a 1 Phantom Knights, the Phantom Knights monster from the hand, except itself, and then you can increase its level by 1. Only use each effect once per turn. Gloves, a Dark Xyz that was summoned using this card as material, gains an additional effect of having 1,000 attack. But you can banish this card from the graveyard to send 1 Phantom Knights card from the deck to the grave. So again, that can set you up by sending pretty much your trap cards, but it can also send you stuff like your Torn Scales, or you can trigger your Torn Scales by banishing this card from the graveyard very easily. So there's loads of different ways you can do it. Then we do play 3 rank ups cards. I don't know if you need to play all 3. I think they do kind of come down to optionals. You might be able to squeeze it down to play 2 if you want to, but playing 3 can still give you a couple bit more of a boost. The only issue is if you don't have the setup, the rank ups aren't going to do you much, but because they are all the Phantom Knight cards, you can all search them very easily. Well, one of them's Phantom Knights, and then 2 of them are the Phantom Knights. So this is the Phantom Knights Rank Up Magic Force. Then we've got the Phantom Knights Rank Up Magic Launch. And then we have the brand new The Phantom Knights Rank Up Magic Requiem. So there we go. Your Rank Up Magic Force is during the main phase, you banish 1 or more Dark Monster from the graveyard to target 1 Dark Xyz you control. Special summon from your extra deck 1 The Phantom Knights, Rave Raptor, or Xyz Dragon Xyz Monster, whose rank equals the target monsters you control, plus the number of monsters banished by using it as material. Also, for the rest of the turn, after it resolves, you can't special summon from the extra except Xyz. Now, there is a way that you can play DDD High Wave, DDD King Yugioh, which is what people used to play in Ray Raptors and probably still do play in Ray Raptors, as it does technically give you a turn skip. I'm not playing that, it's a shocker. I'm actually using this to still utilize the Phantom Knight cards themselves, because that's just kind of how I have fun, but it's entirely up to you. Then the Magic Launch is during the main phase specifically. Target a Dark Xyz you control with no Xyz material, special from the extra a Dark Xyz that is 1 rank higher than that monster you control by using it as the Xyz material. And if you do, you attach this card to it as an additional material. During the main phase, you get to banish this card from the grave to target a Dark Xyz monster you control and attach 1 The Phantom Knights monster from your hand to that monster's material. So kind of nice. But the other is, again, it lets you turn your rank 3s into rank 4s, which can be quite useful for some of the options that we have in the extra deck. Then the brand new Rank Up Magic Requiem. Target 1 The Phantom Knights or an Xyz Dragon monster in your graveyard or banishment. Special summon it, but negate its effects. Then apply the following effect. Choose 1 Dark Xyz you control and special summon from your extra deck 1 The Phantom Knights or Xyz Dragon Xyz monster that is 1 rank higher than that monster by using it as material, and it's treated as an Xyz summon. You can only activate 1 The Phantom Knights Rank Up Requiem per turn. Now again, this is actually quite nice for the later stage. It's also quite nice for the grind game, being able to get your monster back into rotation while also then being able to ideally set you up with either the aggressor of one of your Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragons or the defender of another one of the Rebellion Dragons. For the trap cards, 2 Phantom Knights Fogblade, kind of like the modernized Fiendish Chain. So activate this card by targeting an effect monster on the field. Quite nice, because technically you can target the Rituals of Light and Darknesses, but chances are they will bounce themselves back out. But just a note that you can do that. Negate the face-up monster's effect. That face-up monster cannot attack, and then monsters cannot target that face-up monster for attacks. When that monster leaves the field, destroy this card. You can banish this card from the graveyard to target a Phantom Knights monster in your grave and special summon it, but banish it when it leaves the field. You can only use this effect once per turn, so you can lock down multiple times. You just can't use the banish revive effect multiple times. Then we've got the 1 Phantom Knights Wing. So remember, you've got Phantom Knights, there's no the in this, so when you're trying to get these off of the back of Cloak, Cloak can't get them, sadly. Target a face-on monster on the field, it gains 500 attack. The first time that target will be destroyed by a battle or card effect. This turn it is not destroyed. Banish this card from the graveyard, target a Phantom Knights monster in your grave, special summon it, but banish it when it leaves the field. Now there are some times where it's actually quite funny because you can actually Fogblade your own monster and then your opponent can't attack him, which is actually kind of funny. Then for the generic cards, we've got Reinforce for the Army, because all your Phantom Knights are warriors. Foolish Burial, because again, sometimes you want to get your Phantom Knights to the graveyard and then utilize their graveyard effects. I've decided to go with a danger package of 2 Jackalope, 2 Nessie, and 2 Sukanoko. So these are just like your Dart level 3 extenders. They can also get some of your Phantom Knights into the graveyard. Another engine I am highly considering, definitely if Light and Darkness and Ghost Ogre make a bigger appearance, is that I might consider taking out the dangers, so that opens up 6 slots. And the reason why I do that is I would consider playing Emergency Teleport, Psychic Wielder, Psychic Tracker, and then you'd also play Ghost Ogre. And the idea would be is that my Ghost Ogre would still act as a hand interaction, but then I can also Emergency Teleport it out, which can be very, very effective. I also get direct access to the Psychic Wielder or Tracker, which can in turn become level 3 extenders themselves from the hand. So I'm kind of replacing the randomized options of this. The only thing that I would ultimately be losing is 50-50 chances of getting a Phantom Knight to the graveyard, which sometimes you want and sometimes you don't. The draw is also quite nice as well, so pros and cons, you can kind of choose how you wish to go with that one. Then for the non-engine hand interactions, I've got the Moral Chummy Forloss, I've got the Ash Blossoms. I decided to go with 2 Forbidden Droplets just because I wanted to try and keep this deck as close to 40 as I could, but ultimately I could probably bump this to 42, but I really wanted to add the next card in because I just like it as a card in general, and if there's a deck that I can build that can play it, I kind of want to do it, and that is Dominus Impulse. I just think Dominus Impulse is one of my favourite modernized cards we've had for a long, long time. I suppose probably one of my favourite trap cards we've had for a long, long time. And in a deck like this where you don't really care that much about the restrictions that it can apply, it's just a really nice card. Again, as mentioned, if you don't have access to Dominus Impulse, that can become your 3rd Forbidden Droplet. It can also become Ghost Ogres, Ghost Bells, Perulias if you want to, or you could start to integrate the Psychic Tracker, Wielder, and Emergency Teleport package as well. So it gives you a lot of versatility and a lot of flexibility depending on what you have direct access to, and then kind of go from there. And keeping in mind that the majority of Phantom Knights are not that expensive, I wouldn't expect you to build Phantom Knights and then go out and drop huge amounts of money to kind of complete it to use non-engine cards like that. Moving on to the extra deck. Starting off with the brand new, the Phantom Knights of Malevolent Scythe. What a name. I used to love the Phantom Knights names. They're just so, so cool. So 2 level 3 Dark Monsters, which is why the dangers help you out a little bit more to consistently get to this card, but again, pick and choose. You get to detach 1 material from this card to special summon 1, the Phantom Knights monster directly from the deck. If you XZ summon an XZ Dragon monster, while this card is in your monster zone, except during damage state, you get to add a rank up magic spell from the deck to the hand. If this card is destroyed, you get to add one of your banished the Phantom Knight cards from the hand, except XZ's monsters. You can only use each effect once per turn, so it just actually does so much. Like the summon, the search, and the revival or the recycle is really, really important. Then we have 2 of the classic, the Phantom Knights of Breaksword. So the Aggressor, generic level 3, so you use any level 3 monsters you want to, even an Ash Blossom. And then once per turn, detach a material from this card, target 1 card you control and 1 card your opponent controls, destroy them. If this XZ summon card is destroyed, you get to target 2 the Phantom Knight monsters with the same level in your grave, special summon them, and then increase their levels by 1. But you can't special summon them for the rest of the turn except Dark Monsters, which is, again, absolutely fine. The generic level 3 that I am playing is the Bamboozling Gossip Shadow. Now this is purely because it replaces effects, so it actually lets you get around certain cards that could be a little bit more sticky to deal with. It also then protects you from cards like Nibiru. Not that that's that big this current format, but sometimes if you're going to a local variant with Phantom Knights, it might be something that crops up. Yes, the biggest downside is that it is a wind monster, so it can kind of clash with some of your locks, which is why you need to go into it first and as early as you possibly can. So that's just an option for you. This did take the place of Zeus, but you can put Zeus in here without an issue. Then we do play the one brand new TCG exclusive in the Shaman Knight. This one, again, generic rank 3. If this card is XZ summoned, or if a trap card you own is banished, which you can do quite easily, you get to target one of your banished trap cards, attach it to this card, so you get to recycle your own Phantom, your Fog Blades, which is beautiful. Detach any number of materials from this card, target 1 Dark Monster in your graveyard or banishment with a level equal to the number detached, and special summon it. Only use the effect once per turn. So it's basically a modernized version of the Levianeer, the Sea Dragon, and it's a Dark Monster. So whereas Levianeer was a wind, it doesn't have that clash anymore. It can also access the graveyard rather than just the banishment, and then it recycles your trap card. So it's kind of like perfect. It might as well have been called Phantom Knight, Shaman Knight, Shaman Knight. Like, that's kind of how it would have worked. Then for the rank 4s, we've got options for. So we've got the Evil Swarm Nightmare, so 2 level 4 Dark Monsters. Gives you the ability for Book of Moons when your opponent summons, which is quite useful. Then another one which is a little bit dirty, but is kind of an option you can consider, and this again can become Zeus, is the Evil Swarm Ophion. Now this one does require 2 level 4 Ishwarm monsters, but remember we do have some of the quick play rank ups which will allow you to kind of dodge that, and the reason you would do this one is level 5 or higher monsters cannot be special summoned. So straight away against Ritual Light and Darkness, they can't even enter the field of play. They can't even try and bring back the Summoned Skull to try and attack because it's a level 6. So it completely locks them down, which is very, very powerful. Then we've got the 1 Raider's Knight, just classic ability to rank up. Then we have the Rebellion lineup. So we've got the 1 Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon, the Arc Rebellion Xyz Dragon, and the Dark Requiem Xyz Dragon. Finishing off with our Link monsters, we've got the IP Masquerena into the SP Little Knight, backed up by the Cherubini Ibon Angel of the Burning Abyss. And then finally, again, just a favourite Link monster of mine because it was just so incredibly good and sticky when we got it, is the Phantom Knight of Rusty Bodish. Looked incredible, and just the fact that its effect keeps it locked on the field is so annoying. So during your main phase, you get to send 1 the Phantom Knight's monster from the deck to the grave, then set 1 Phantom Knight spell or trap directly from the deck to your spell and trap zone. If a dark Xyz monster is special onto a zone this card points to, while this monster is on the field, except during damage set, target a card on the field, destroy it. Only as each effect once per turn, and it can't be used as link material, but the idea was you would just use this, and then you'd be able to use Phantom Knights once your opponent got rid of it, use your Fog Blade to bring it back, and then still try and get Xyz monsters to the zone it points to, and destroy a card, and it just kind of built and built and built and built, and got really, really annoying. Now, over time, it's probably been power crept when you consider cards like SP Little Knight and everything else in between, but still, it's an annoyingly good boss monster for the deck as well. Anyway, that is it for the entire profile. If you do have any questions at all, by all means, please put in the comments down below. Like I said, if you want to see a combo video or even a test stand video for this deck, then let me know in the comments down below. I'll be more than happy to bring it and get the video above 50 likes in the first 24 hours, shows what you want to see, and I'll be more than happy to produce it for you. For now, as absolutely always, stay safe, and of course, happy dueling.